Ladies and gentlemen, seekers of truth and knowledge, welcome to a one-of-a-kind experience that will take you on a captivating journey beyond our world. Today, we have a special treat for you as we sit down with the renowned Andromedan Contactee Alex Collier. Prepare yourself for a rapid-fire question and answer session that delves into the depths of cosmic wisdom and unveils the mysteries of the universe. As always, please remember to like this video and share it with your friends and family. That way, it gets seen by more truth seekers. So, without further ado, here are today's rapid-fire questions and answers.
Is there going to be an epic event that will turn people around to the truth, unbrainwash them?
There are epic events happening all the time. Just unfortunately, not a lot of people are actually seeing these epic events. But I've heard the rumors: fear of a nuclear war, fear of a meteor strike. That is going to be allowed to propagate, not actually materialize, but propagate, so that the media can be exposed at least one more time for all their lies and everything else. I've heard those rumors. One, a meteor is not going to hit the planet. It's just not going to happen. There are too many starships around here. In fact, I seriously doubt it would even get through. It would hit one of the other ships because it's a parking lot. Two, as I said earlier, nuclear weapons are not going to be detonated. We simply don't need them anymore. And we actually never really did. It was a mistake for the United States to detonate the ones we did. England, France, the Soviet Union, all the testing, it was a mistake. But we didn't know. We didn't know. And that's why there hasn't been any testing for quite some time, because now we do know. So that's that's what it is too. There are many possibilities. There's still the talk about a fake alien invasion. Operative word, fake alien invasion. I don't necessarily see that either. Could there be a vent in the sky using holographs? That's an interesting possibility. The technology is extremely advanced. If you watched what happened in China on New Year's Eve at the strike of midnight in China, and the holograph that they used and projected in the sky of the whale and the stars, and it was very impressive. It was actually very, very impressive. That would give you an idea of how far along the holographic technology is, and that's commercial. Okay, that's the commercial element of holographs. Imagine what the military is, because military technology advances 40 years every single year. Most of you all don't know that. Yes, things are moving very, very quickly at that level. In fact, most of the commercial technology we have started in the military, and as it was phased out because it was obsolete, it becomes commercial technology. Now you know. An excellent book that you could all read that deals with that is The Day After Roswell by Lieutenant Colonel Corso. Remarkable book. He talks about how the technology was taken off crash ships or was given to us, and how it was his job to take it to corporations and have it reverse engineered. He explains the entire process and what was involved in all of that. So that would bring you up to date on a lot of that technology and the reality that we're not alone.
Hi, Alex. Do you think we'll experience an actual split in humanity when we move to a higher reality?
You know, Harriet, that's a really good question. I do not know exactly what that's going to look like. Uh, 4.5 years ago, when I first brought this subject back up, I think when we first started the webinars, is that 4.5 years ago? 2005, 2015. So 2015, when I brought this subject back up, I had asked Mornay about that. And he said it's undecided how that's all going to manifest itself. And the reason it's undecided is because we're the ones manifesting this, what this looks like. Okay, their intervention was to remove an element that was here that was not us, that was controlling the manifestation of things by controlling our thoughts and by creating a false reality. In removing that, that has not only sped up the awakening process, but also our self-awareness. So that hasn't been decided. It could very well be that the separation will not necessarily be a separation. It could be a die-off. That's what it would look like. There will not be two separate Earths. That isn't going to happen. And I know people talk about that. They propagate that. Okay, they're free to say whatever they want. But we are on a single timeline. A single timeline. That means one Earth. Doesn't mean two or three. It means one. So what that looks like in the near future, I don't know. I am on this ride with you. If I get an answer for that, I will let you all know. And of course, I will, because I've been doing that all along. So, but it's a really good question. I've been wondering that a lot myself. I get a lot of questions about our loved ones and our pets, what that looks like. Most pets are just, they're absolutely loved. Even those that are abused and now they're angry and pissed off and volatile, they're still loved. That's what they all want. They're going to be taken care of. They're going to go to a good place.
How can you tell a space being who is here on Earth pretending to be human?
If you're a clairvoyant, you would have the ability to see their fake holograph around themselves. You would be able to see shifts in the energy field, and at times when they move very quickly, the energy field around them doesn't move as quickly, and sometimes there's a delay, a drag, and then what you would see is another being underneath that isn't human. You also need to be aware of the fact that many extraterrestrials that are here, that are acting as boots on the ground in assistance to humanity, are in fact human beings. They're from another star system, they're from another time, they're from another dimension. Their DNA is very different than ours in the sense that they're probably operating with 6, 7, or 8 strands, maybe even more. But they're here being of service, but they are human beings. So they're not necessarily pretending to be a human being. They're pretending to be a Terran, a member of Earth. They're literally visitors. Okay? They're here on a mission, a diplomatic mission. Many of them have been working with our militaries of other countries as well, especially dealing with underground stuff. There have been some surface things, but for the most part, they're dealing with underground. You see, the dark side, they're the ones in fear. They're the ones who have always been in fear, which is why they do the shit they do and do the shit they've done. It's because they're the ones who are in fear. And they're terrified of the light. They're terrified of independence. They're terrified of hearing the word no. So they control and manipulate everything so that they can be in control because they're the ones who are afraid. And when shit gets real, they run, they hide. And where'd they go? They went underground, which is where they've been hiding for thousands of years. That's their getaway. That's their go-to spot when shit hits the fan. And that's exactly what they did. You know, the alliance, the benevolent alliance of off-worlders, they know these beings. They know what they're going to do. And actions were taken, movements were made intentionally to move them out of the populace back underground so that they could protect humanity from these things. And the battle has been going on underground. It's all been done intentionally in order to try to protect as much of humanity as possible. You know, what we have going on the surface are those minions that worked for these beings who have been blackmailed, who have done all these heinous things to prove their loyalty to these beings of the dark. That's what we're dealing with on the surface. Now, some of them have attachments. Some of these humans have attachments. Some of them have demonic souls within them or attached to them, driving them to do these horrific things with absolutely zero compassion or regret of anything. They will be dealt with if they haven't been already. Like I told you earlier, the Fauci we see today is not the original Fauci. Just look at the nose and look at the chin line and go back to, say, 2014, 2015 of the original Fauci. And look at the profiles. They're different. They are different beings. So it's interesting. It's very interesting what's going on. You almost need a scorecard at this point. You know, you do.
Alex, how did you learn to communicate telepathically with the A's?
They taught me. They taught me how to do it. You know, and it took a long time. In the very beginning, it was very difficult because I would be watching them. I was so in awe of them that I'd be watching them and I would not be listening to what they had to say. And then it would get frustrated because I'm like, what? What did you say? You know, because I wasn't listening. I was watching them. You know, I was on board this ship. And I'm like, oh my God, look at this. You know, this is amazing. So, you know, and I was just a kid. And then after Morine learned to speak, you see, they all have vocal cords. They're just atrophied because they don't use them. But they have them. They're grown with them. You know, they grow up with them. So when he learned to speak and made the effort, it took about 7 years to actually make it work, our time. And then when he'd start speaking, you know, he would telepathically talk to me at the same time he was speaking. And I'd be really focused on his words. But using telepathy, you get entire concepts, you get pictures, you get holographs of everything that they're thinking or their entire knowledge base about what it is that they're talking about. And I'd be so focused on what he was trying to say that I wouldn't get the other part. And then I had to learn to just, okay. Um, and again, he would get frustrated with me because I couldn't get those things to line up just exactly right. So what I've learned is to pay attention to the telepathy part. That's where the real information is, because he's not going to change the way he thinks. He's going to do what he's always done, because he's with me just that much of the time, and he's with his own people this time. So he isn't going to change. So I'm the one who had to learn to adapt. So I pay attention to what he says telepathically, and I do catch the words here and there, and um, it's been an interesting journey, to say the least. It really has. I've learned so much. I've learned so much. I have been on the street where I would hear somebody telepathically say, "Hello, Alex," and I would turn around and look, and I don't know who it is that's saying it to me. So it's interesting. It's really very interesting.
Dolphins and whales are related to us humans. How can we connect and join forces with them? So much gratitude, Rebecca One, Present Heart.
Well, there are a lot of people that swim with dolphins and feel that they communicate with dolphins. I believe there's even software now using dolphin sound that translates dolphin sound into language. So that's taken care of. Regarding whales, we have got to stop hunting them. Whales are the historians of the planet. Uh, you know, there are all kinds of stories about whales, popping up and just saying hi to fishermen, to boats, swimming along with them, um, just communicating in the way that they do. So, if we could just drop the fear that we've all been taught to have about nature, for the most part, I think we would all understand that, basically we can all get along very, very well. Now, there are some things in nature that have, well, let's just say they need to be left alone. We just need to leave them alone so they can be what they are. Okay. Um, 100 years from now, 200 years from now, things will be very, very different. We'll more than likely be in fourth density, maybe even fifth dimensional consciousness at that point, fully fifth, and we will be able to communicate with all animals at that point. We will more than likely be telepathic. All of us, future generations, will grow up being telepathic. Our own race will grow up being telepathic, so they can communicate with all of nature, and nature can in fact communicate with them. So there's so many things that are going to change, for the better. And what that means is that humanity will truly have a symbiotic nature with nature. We'll all be connected and moving in the same direction and on the same page.
Do they move the position of the moon around at all? Because it seems to be appearing in locations that I haven't ever observed it in the past, and on some occasions it starts high in the sky and then sinks out of sight. Or am I just more observant now?
You are more observant now, and the moon has moved. Yes, it does move. In fact, the many of the indigenous people have been trying to tell Western civilization for many years now that something's off because the moon's in a different position. Uh, Even the sun has moved, but it isn't so much the sun as it is the Earth. The tilt of the planet is moving a little bit more, uh, but the moon has been moving around. Yes, it's under alliance control, benevolent control now. There's a lot of things there's a lot of things in the works. Okay, a lot of things.
Have we been hoodwinked about the proximity of continents and countries to one another? And are we a lot closer than we think?
Are you referring to the flat Earth and the additional continents that we don't know anything about? Is the planet actually bigger than we've been told about, or not? That's an extraordinary question. It really is. The technology that we have today to fly is completely archaic, and it has been. The ability to fly that existed 6, 7, 8, 9,000 years ago was more advanced than what we have today. I have talked in the past about the Mavadis, the flying carpets. Um, they were real. That isn't myth. They were actually real. Uh, Other spacecraft that were found here on Earth were real. Uh, Transports that flew on ley lines using the Earth's magnetic field for power were real. There is evidence of those. There are starships that or spaceships that have been found in caves oh, in Afghanistan, Pakistan, southern Russia, even Iran, China, that are so old that they've been embedded in rock that they can't get near to uh, because they have defense mechanisms on them. They've been here thousands of years. So, we like to think we're sophisticated and we have the latest and greatest, and we look at these technological advancements that our world has today and think, wow, we're really moving along. The fact of the matter is, all of that stuff that existed here in the past with previous civilizations is 500 years more advanced than anything we have today. That's all part of rewriting history to dumb us down and to create and to lure us into creating a reality where we enslaved ourselves. Tartania was one of those civilizations. It was directly connected to Atlantis. It survived Atlantis. It was far more advanced than we are today. Energy was free. It was free energy. Nikola Tesla, tapped into that, and he figured it out. And he experimented with that in Colorado Springs And I think it was 1913, 1914, maybe 1912, somewhere in that area. And he experimented with wireless electricity and he demonstrated it using the Earth's frequency. That's been around for thousands and thousands of years. That's a whole lecture in itself. Just that one thing. Okay? So the technology that's been locked up, the 5,000 patents that have been locked up, none of it is new technology. It's technology that has existed in the past.
Would you further explain intent from the A's perspective instead of wish or hope, please?
Well, intent really stems from what it is that you want. When you are clear about exactly what it is that you want, you also are clear about why you want it. This is not in this is not where I just want that new car so I can look cool. That is not what we're talking about. I want to create a humanitarian project so that I can help homeless veterans. So my intent is to create a humanitarian project where the resources of that will be used specifically to take homeless veterans off the street and give them the ability to have a home, a living quarters that is theirs, so that they can begin the process of healing themselves emotionally, spiritually, and physically, so that they can rebuild their lives. So my intent is very clear about exactly why I want to do this. It is to benefit those men and women who have done the things that they've done to assist to preserve freedom, um, whether they were coerced into doing the wrong thing without knowing it, it doesn't matter. What they did was they sacrificed years of their lives to do this specific thing. And my intent is to assist them in putting their lives back together again, dealing with post traumatic stress, uh, dealing with mental illness, drug addictions, things of that nature. Um, because the VA system is socialized medicine. It's a fucking complete failure. It's a disgrace. It's an absolute disgrace. And there is no money that's ever going to fix it because it was built the wrong way. It was simply built the wrong way. So, so my intent is coming from a deep portion of myself to physically manifest that intention, that desire to assist all these other people and their families. Because many of these people have families that have either abandoned or don't know where their parents are. It's tragic from top to bottom about all that. So when you are creating anything in your life, it's not about acquiring something physical. It's about your reasons for wanting to do it. And your intention is all of those components together to manifest that physically here for the benefit of yourself, your family, or solely for the benefit of others. It's a spiritual decision and it's a spiritual path that drives you to physically manifest something in the world for the benefit of yourself, your family, or others. It is not a spiritual, it is not a ego want. It doesn't come from that place at all. In the A's perspective, that's what that is. And they stress intent all the time. They always have. Even to this day, Morene brings it up. You know, the intent to do this. Our intention is this. Our intention to do that. You know, that's just a part of their everyday language is intent, intent, intent. So, and I guess when you're telepathic, when you intend something, everybody knows your purpose. They're all crystal clear what that is. And, you know, they bust each other because everybody knows what your intention is, because there are no secrets. You know, you always have to be authentic, no matter what. Okay?
There you have it, fellow truth seekers. An enlightening and exhilarating rapid-fire question and answer session with the remarkable Alex Collier, sharing his profound encounters with the benevolent Andromedan extraterrestrial beings. As we continue on our cosmic journey, let us embrace the wisdom of the Andromedans and carry their message of love, unity, and compassion with us. Together, we can create a world where humanity stands united, ready to embrace the wonders that await us in the vast expanse of the universe. If you found this rapid-fire question and answer session fascinating, don't forget to hit that like button and share this video with your friends and family. Subscribe to our channel and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on more captivating content like this. Thank you for joining us on this incredible adventure. Until next time, may the stars guide you on your path of enlightenment and exploration, and remember to always seek knowledge and stay curious. If you would like to see Andromedan Contactee Alex Collier live via video stream, we host an online seminar 3 times a month on a Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. For more information and dates of upcoming online seminars, please visit alexcollier.org.
Please click on one of the above videos to seek more of Alex Collier's knowledge.